In a world where one woman tries to start a podcast,
how will I ever do this on my own?
She thought she would have to get expensive equipment.
What? I can do all of this on a free app?
She thought she would have to find creation tools all over the internet.
You mean it can all be contained in an app on my phone and computer?
She thought she would have to do all her own distribution.
You mean to tell me this app is going to send it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all those other platforms for me?
She thought she would never make any money.
I don't have to wait for a minimum listenership to monetize?
She thought that she would have to find all kinds of different equipment and pieces.
But I'm going to download this free Anchor app and get started today.
Visit Anchor.fm and download the free Anchor app to be just like her, the ultimate podcaster.
Hello and welcome to the Lou Review. This is your host Rosa, and today I have two very special guests, the owners of Atrium Brewing. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
My name is Spencer Guyy. I'm the head brewer at Atrium.
Princeton Hurst, president, co-owner, Atrium Brewing.
And what exactly is Atrium Brewing? Why should we care about Atrium in this city that is so full of breweries? They're coming out our ears. What makes you stand apart?
Well, every brewery has its time and place for their visit, and we are no different than a lot of others. We're a conglomerate of guys who really care about giving you the best liquid that we possibly can. And I think the main thing that speaks for us is just we let the liquid speak for itself. There's a whole lot of liquid beer in Louisville, and you come here because we have something a little bit different. We've got something to please every palate, from someone who's just getting into beer, someone who doesn't even like the taste of beer, to the jaded old brewer who's been into beer for 30 years and all he wants to drink is German Pilsner. We've got a little just something for everyone, and we treat them all with respect, and we do them all the absolute best that we can. And we're always striving to make the beer better for your mouth.
That is fantastic. Princeton, how do you follow that?
I think he pretty much covered everything. I mean, a big part of it is that we always ask ourselves, how can we make something better, or how can we challenge ourselves? And I think that's the fun part. And the stressful part sometimes, day in and day out, is really trying to push the limits and also see what we can hone in from traditional styles to, let's put granola in a beer and see what happens.
Now, to be fair, we're not talking about just granola. You just described a parfait of a beer to me. You want to describe that again?
Yeah, so I kind of dug us.
It
starts with that. So it actually starts with a previous beer. I kind of dug us into a hole a little bit towards the beginning of the year. I had this silly idea to do this lemon parfait beer. So we did this lemon sour, and then we conditioned it on granola and a powdered yogurt and toasted coconut and vanilla, and it came out as this whole thing that just tastes like a yogurt parfait. And it's funny because it has flavors that shouldn't be in liquid form, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Granola is crunchy, and to have that flavor in something that you're drinking is just, it's kind of a mind bend.
Right, it's a little bit off-putting.
So we did that. So we did the lemon parfait, and it was a whole lot of fun. We loved it, and everyone just ate it up. So we immediately did another one, the pineapple banana parfait, and then it came to our anniversary month. So Blueberry Lemon Cake Boy is our all-time top-selling sour beer. We have that one year-round that has blueberry, lemon, and vanilla. So we decided to take that same beer and go ahead and give it the parfait treatment. So we put granola on it, toasted coconut, some powdered yogurt, and a little bit of extra vanilla. So we're taking a beer that everyone already knows and loves and kind of mashing it with our parfait series to create something really fun and special for our birthday month.
And is this the only pink beer you have here?
No.
Oh my! So there's no telling.
There's no telling. Yes.
Okay.
So we do quite a bit of fruited sours. If you come in on any given day, I would say 30 to 50% of our draft beer list is going to be fruited sour beers. So as far as what's purple that's on right now, you've got the blueberry lemon, There's the peanut butter and jelly. That's blackberry and peanut butter. And then we've got a black currant sour on right now. That's a really deep, really gorgeous purple. We also have berry boy. That's blackberry raspberry.
And this peaches milkshake.
Yeah. So that next in your flight there is the peach milkshake IPA. So we take a New England IPA hopped with fresh Citra and Mosaic hops. We add some lactose, some vanilla, and then we ferment it with a whole bunch of fresh peach puree. So we don't like to lose the IPA character. We still want you to be reminded that it is a hoppy beer, but it's going to be so saturated with juicy peach flesh and just soft, creamy vanilla.
I would definitely say that I'm not feeling like it's a hoppy beer. I'm feeling like it's more like a peach milkshake. So I'm not a fan of hoppy beer, so I was excited to come here for the first time on your Kölsch service night.
Yeah.
Because I can handle these light things.
Totally.
We were talking about your Kölsch beer is kind of like a palate cleanser. So I need to know the backstory, though. So what brought you guys into the craft beer scene? Is this something you always thought you were going to get into, Princeton? What's your background?
Yeah, we've kind of totally different.
Yeah, totally different paths. I had no clue what I wanted to do. After I did 10 years in the Army and just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, didn't know what that was. Got into real estate and had the opportunity to purchase a craft beer bar, Four Pegs, here in Louisville, and got into that and really enjoyed it. It just wasn't enough for me. I was like, this is great. I'm getting a lot of awesome beer, but I've got my own idea of what craft beer should be, and was like, started pursuing opening a brewery. That led me to meet my business partner, who's also a brewer, Mark Rubenstein.
Oh, okay.
Everybody calls him Rubo. He's back in the brewery right now. But we had got together, and again, this takes years. I mean, it was years till we came to the point where we're at now. And then also knew Spencer from the community, and way back in the day, he was a home brewer at the time. Was like, hey, I want to be a brewer for you. You know, y'all starting a brewery. I can brew. And gave us, like, I tried samples of his beer, and I was like, man, this is awesome. This is amazing. Like,
this guy's legit.
He can brew. You know. Okay. I mean, I there's so much I didn't know at the time. But I tried Rubo at the same time. He's the milkshake. The first beer I ever had from him was pineapple milkshake IPA, and I was like, all right. So that kind of kicked off the journey for me, and then, you know, years and years. It probably was 3 years after that point, if not more. I'm trying to keep track of it.
You guys were talking to me before I brewed at the brewery I was at beforehand. So
yeah,
you would have been talking to me
probably 4 years.
3 to 4 years before we opened Atrium.
But that's my side. And
yeah. So how did you get into all this, Spencer?
I'm just a nerd. I was just really into home brewing. Like, when I started home brewing when I was like 20. And was just super into it.
Because you knew it would be ready by the time you were 21.
I guess. I'm just like an obsessive dude, and I obsess about shit. And I just got into it and went down the rabbit hole. I was screen printing T-shirts at the time, being like a artsy burnout dude, and I loved it. and at some point, I was like, dude, I think I want to like do beer. I think I want to do beer. And and so. Like, I was homebrewing a whole lot, but you can't just, like, you know, walk into a place like, hey, I'm going to brew beer for you. Like, I know how to make...
I mean, it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
I know. I got really lucky, but you can't walk into a place and say, hey, I know how to brew 5 gallons. Can I make 600 gallons for you?
Right. It's a little different.
I worked my way into working for some beer distributors. Okay. So I worked for River City for a little while, putting Miller Lite on shelves. Okay. And then I ran the events for Heidelberg distributing in the state for a couple of years, so all the beer festivals in the state.
Learned some big picture concepts.
I learned how dog eat dog, the like big beer world is, and people stealing draft lines from each other. But learned a whole lot about equipment and how to work. A lot about equipment from Beer Dave Gooseful, Kentucky beer legend. And anyways, then I got hired as the head brewer at Akasha in Nulu when I was 24, which was like, here you go. Here, you're the head brewer now. I'm like, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was able to make a lot of mistakes over there and also make some really delicious beers over there before in the 2-year period when Rubo and Princeton were getting everything finalized. And I was able to come on to Atrium about, I'd say 2 or 3 months before we opened. Helped get all the equipment online. And then we started brewing over here, and it was great. It's like brewing. It's like driving a Cadillac back there.
Oh,
it's pretty great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So Princeton and is it Mark?
Mark Rubo.
Yeah. Well, I keep thinking Marco Rubio.
That's fine. It's fine.
We all call him Rubo. It's not Rubo.
Okay. So you guys were handling more the business side of things, and then he handles creating the product. Would you say, or is that more of a shared responsibility? How's that work?
I'd say all in all, like everyone inputs ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very collective process.
If Princeton, for example, Princeton wanted to brew an awesome Pilsner for our anniversary. And this is a beer we're going to be releasing for our anniversary here in a couple of weeks. It's called Paperwork Pilsner. So Princeton says, what? I really want to make this awesome Pilsner. What can we do? And I say, Princeton, what's your ideal beer? What's it taste like? Tell me exactly what it tastes like. Tell me what color it is. Tell me what it looks like, what it tastes like, how it finishes. And I can formulate it and we can execute it and see how close we can get to your product. So like that's one of my favorite things to do is taking someone else's concept for a beer and turning it into a beer that's balanced and clean and drinkable.
Yeah.
Like another example too is we're a partner with the Louisville Bats, and one of the things that we did for the season was created a specific beer, Bet Boy, for them, and it was a collective. We had an idea of a concept. We were thinking ballpark lemonade, but it wasn't just one person that was like, "This is what we got to do." And I think a lot of the beers that we come out with, or at least the construct of the beginning ideas start as a collective, and then
I say all the time, like, I'm out of ideas. I've done it all. I've brewed so many batches of beer. I'm out of ideas. Please, someone give me an idea to make this fruited sour taste like some like thing that you love, because I would love to do it.
Because you can plug in the direction and make it happen.
Yeah, I've used every fruit I can use. I've used so many different adjuncts. I'm putting granola and shit. By this point in my career, I've used so many things, and I understand how different adjuncts are going to behave with the liquid and how, and I can tell you if something is going to taste good or not. That doesn't mean we don't do small scale blending to ensure, but we'll take a stab at something that's strawberry shortcake. Well, we're going to do 300 gallons of it. Let's go. I hope it's good. But the only reason we're able to do that is because we've had so many successful batches. Right. And we understand how our equipment and how everything behaves for us.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're just turning 2 years old, so it's like part of, like talking about earlier, we always keep on trying to challenge ourselves. So it's like, why just keep on making the same thing over and over?
Right.
We're not even 2 years old yet.
Right.
Like, there's so many ideas. Maybe Spencer, he racks his brain about things, but if you can think it, that's a challenge. Talking about parfait. How do you parfait
How do you make a beer parfait? Yeah. Well, this other one in the flight you brought me was a Mai-Tai beer?
Yes. Yeah. So that is Mai-Tai Tiki Boy.
Tiki is such a huge thing that I didn't realize was happening.
It's really caught on the last few years.
Gosh, they have conferences and stuff.
Oh,
Did you know
no,
this?
I didn't.
It's
so
like Comic-Con for Tiki obsessed
I want to go to that and drink
you think
rum.
You're an obsessive person. You're never going to see him outside of a Hawaiian shirt again. Princeton, watch out.
Our
Tiki.
other owner, Mark Rubo, he is infamous for being the Tiki King.
Oh,
He might
go to this conference.
You can't go out to eat with him without him ordering a blue drink.
You would think if we all went out that we'd all get like craft beer.
No.
It's the complete opposite. Technically, it's fruity or frozen drinks.
Well, when you have to taste beer for your whole full-time job, you probably need a break sometimes.
But yeah, so that beer was inspired by a Mai-Tai cocktail. So a Mai-Tai is mostly all booze.
Is it rum?
It's rum, this kind of rum. It has
There's
almond
dark
orgeat.
rum,
Yeah,
there's light rum,
there's
yeah.
overproof rum. It has almond orgeat in it. It has a squeeze of lime in it, and it has an orange liqueur in it. So what we did was we obviously can't create a rum flavor. So for the orange, we did blood orange and tangerine. We did some key lime. And then we did just a little bit of pineapple, which is not traditionally in a Mai-Tai, but it gives it some extra tropical backbone. And then we did an almond and fresh locally grown mint for the mint sprig in the top. So we're really worried about it being too minty. It's definitely a beer that could be overdone and bad really fast. I don't think so either. It's really mellowed out nice, and the mint just adds just a layer of depth in there that's really fun.
I agree, and I think I really taste the almond.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could have put my finger on what the source of the nutty flavor was.
Sure, but when I say it, yeah, it's got the almond orgeat, almost kind of like a marzipan flavor. Like you ever have like the almond paste that they make little doodads out of and stuff? It's kind of similar to that.
Little doodads.
Yeah.
And then I did clarify that you will not see any decorative garnishes on these drinks. There's not going to be an actual mint sprig. You will have to taste for it.
That's right. So, yeah.
Now you don't have food as garnishes, but you do have food here at the bar.
We do serve food. We've got a permanent food truck on site. It's called Daryk's. Best chicken tenders in town, hand breaded and fried, and then just an awesome smash burger.
Is that the birthday burger they're talking about?
So the birthday
tonight?
burger is going to be a special of his burger just for our birthday week.
What does that mean?
So normally his burger is an Oklahoma style smash burger. It's a smash burger with a couple patties, onions, pickles, cheese. Super traditional, really awesome. So every week Daryk will rotate a new burger. This week is the hot mess burger. So it's got like French fries and chili paste and pickles and all sorts of I just had it and it was really hot. I'm on fire. So I actually can't tell you off the top of my head what the breakfast burger is. I know it has like bacon and other proteins on it.
The birthday
burger.
The birthday burger is the barnyard burger.
Does it have eggs on it? Is that why he's talking about a breakfast?
It does not, but that sounds delightful. It's going to have burger, bacon, chicken.
What?
Chicken on it.
Mixing up our animals here.
Well,
It's like a McChurger.
and now I'm drawing a blank. I'm building
You're like, what was at the top of this tower?
I know it was a big secret on him perfecting this. It's got some special sauce
It's a
on
secret. It's a secret.
Yeah.
But it's
secret.
Daryk
You would
serves.
put it on a podcast, Princeton. That's why he's not telling you. No, I'm just kidding.
Daryk
Exactly.
serves.
I'm like, yeah. Here's the secret.
He serves beer food, you know. All his food down there is going to go great with any other beers on our menu, and it's nothing fancy, but it's just delicious, solid food that complements beer and
or soaks up the beer.
soaks up the beer so that you can have another one.
Well, that sounds like it would help you guys.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And then people might
Number
be
one
safe
food
to go.
tester here.
Number one food tester.
Oh, is that you, Spencer?
That is me. I'm a foodie. I love it.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that we can be friends then.
Have you been to Square Cut yet, by the way? Shout out to Square Cut Pizza.
No, I've been to...
If you have not been to Square Cut Pizza, get off this podcast and just go there right now. I'm not even joking you. It is my favorite restaurant in town.
Well, I have to meet them.
It's
then.
unreal.
It's
We will go introduce you to them. They're unreal.
I support this.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
words
Okay.
can't not even explain the things that they are doing over there. He's curing his own charcuterie meats. He's making his own cheese.
Does he have his own animals out back?
I would not be surprised. I mean, like this guy, there's no. The guy runs a food truck. He's got the sugar room. Like
Unreal.
get me started
wow.
on
The dishes are just stuff you've
Like,
never seen
everything is
before.
just
he'll come out to your. He had a dish on the menu last month where he came out to your table and shaved a cured egg yolk over top of it.
What?
And like he just does the most ridiculous stuff. But
I never thought I'd love cauliflower, but he does a
so
cauliflower, and I
oh my god,
I just
yeah.
want the cauliflower.
Can we just do this podcast about how good square cut is now?
Okay, apparently that's what it's morphing into. But I've got to say, I absolutely delight in people who are delighting in their craft like that, though. And like, honestly, I'm not a beer person, but do you know how much more I enjoy beer if you're going to tell me the story behind it?
Sure.
Or you're going to explain to me the process of how you got it and everything.
Sure.
And actually, these are all delicious. It doesn't hurt that they're all super sweet, except for this Kölsch that was a great palate cleanser.
Sure. So that's something we say, like, we like to brew beers for the beer nerd to come in and drink his Pilsner or his barrel-aged stout, and to bring his friend in who thinks that they don't like beer.
Yeah.
I want you to walk out of here questioning that and thinking like, holy, can I curse?
No.
Okay, holy heck, maybe I do like beer. Like, that just changed my perception of what beer is, because you know, maybe you just don't exactly know what beer can be, because it can be a lot. There's something for everyone in beer. Yeah.
And I've found the craft beer collection of people to be very mutually supportive, not so much competitive. I feel like bourbon is more competitive, and for you guys it's more like, I don't know, a bunch of guys just hanging out and sharing, look what I made.
Well, it can be that way.
Yeah.
The more, the better beer everyone makes, the more educated the Louisville consumer gets about what good beer is, and the better we all do. Louisville is definitely 5 to 10 years behind a lot of these big beer cities, and I say that in the sense that we're a very bourbon-educated consumer, who, again, thinks they know what beer is, but maybe maybe hasn't actually explored what beer can be.
Oh, okay. So there's room in the market.
There's
for
a
that
lot
expansion.
there's a ton of room, and the more that we can educate the consumer, about what a good beer is, the better everyone's going to do. And in order to educate a consumer about what good beer is, there has to be more good beer. So just sharing knowledge and sharing information across the city with brewers, experience, you know, it benefits everyone.
I think a big thing, and this was from the very beginning when we started really building the framework for Atrium. A huge part of it is the social aspect of it. That craft beer, it's one thing to have great liquid, but a big aspect of it is who you share it with. A lot of people, like, we sell 4-packs. It's very common in the industry to have 16-ounce cans. A lot of people are like, why is that? It's like, well, it's not to just drink 16 ounces all in one sitting. It's share it with somebody. Bring a 4-pack, and it's really a culture. And no one, and I could be wrong, but I know I did it, and the majority of my friends didn't just wake up one day and say, let's just start drinking craft beer, and we're super into it. A lot of times it was some sort of social setting where somebody brought something. For me, it was delirium tremens, which I was like, what in the world is this?
What?
I started out with a bang.
I'm a nurse. That doesn't bode well.
As an infamous Belgian beer called
it's a Belgian beer called delirium tremens.
Okay.
It's a very high ABV beer.
Okay.
But I tried it. I had this. I thought I knew what beer was. I was like, yes, I've had beer. Like, I know what beer is. And I tried that. And it completely blew my it changed my perspective of beer from that point on. And me and the friends that I tried that with, we were kind of like, we're in this together now. And it became this journey to, like, go find bottles around the city and collect them and have our bottle share, you know? So it's like, to me, there's an aspect of it that's social, and no one just wakes up one day and it's there. You have to have someone that introduces you to it. It's like, hey, let me invite you here, and not be pretentious or snobby about it. You're like, here, try this beer. Maybe that's not for you. Try this. And I think that's just an amazing thing. The more people that can be introduced to good craft beer.
And it provides that social connection that we really need. I think people are more aware of how much they need that social connection right now. And so if beer is the way to get that, maybe it's just the gateway to get them together.
Oh, social
excuse to get
lubrication.
together. Yeah, exactly. Also may help with some social anxiety for some people. I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
But I just show up and interview strangers like, tell me about your life. But yeah, that's fantastic. And then you have a good setup here. Atrium Brewing, this location is next to Logan Street Market and, as we said, Square Cut Pizza.
Seriously, I think they might be closed on Mondays. If they're not,
It's Labor Day, too.
Oh, it is. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Next
so
time
who
I see you,
knows?
if
You're
you
gonna
haven't had square cut yet.
What are we doing? Working
Well,
on
look.
Labor Day, bro.
So, right? Anyway, yeah, you're like, oh, that doesn't mean we work extra? I thought that's what this meant.
Yeah, I mean, we worked last Labor Day and the one before that.
Well, see, in exchange for you not coming to record at my studio where there's soundproofing to balance
Yeah.
the audio for this, you could just come to my house and bring me a pizza.
There you go. Yeah, there we
Special
go.
delivery.
There we go. Square cut.
Yeah, then we just have a whole other party.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
all right, but this is a really great space. Downstairs, you have a really hip bar area where you've got so many people hanging out down there. I'm sure our listeners can hear them in the background.
Yeah.
We're upstairs
For sure.
in an enclosed room, but you can still hear how much fun everybody's having downstairs. So you've really created a space for them to create that community and share with one another. So kudos to you.
Hey, if you guys want to have a busy Monday, just be open on Labor Day.
Who knew? All these people could be grilling out, and they're not. All right.
Daryk's girls for him.
That's fair. And he's about to grill for me, I think.
Is he?
I
Nice.
have to try something.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
you
down
do.
there.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, Spencer and Princeton, thank you so much for taking this time on your Labor Day to actually take a break. When I found you, you were pushing barrels out in the back.
Absolutely.
And thanks for taking your break time to talk to me. And
Thanks
I'm
for having us.
looking
Yeah,
forward to
thank
seeing
you.
what you come
Yeah,
up with
absolutely.
next.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
All right. So
Cheers.
if you have not already, subscribe to the Lou Review podcast and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Lou Food Reviews. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.